Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about isolate scope binding. As we already discussed, there are different kind of isolate scope binding which you need to define in the scope to isolate the things. There are three different ways in which you can define at the rate. This is called isolate string binding. This is called isolate scope two-way binding, and this is called isolate scope one-way binding. This is equal to. So we will discuss individually. So first we will discuss what is the requirement of this isolate scope binding. Like you are using the directive at different places in your application, so you need to isolate the scope of those directives. So in that case, you need to put a boundary of the scope. You need to do it like this so that each individual directive have their own scope available. So first we will see, how we can get this value name from the HTML like we are already doing. Let me create a link function here. I will assign some value to this name attribute, attribute. So you know what you need to pass here: scope element WTRS, and this is my function. This is my function, so you can assign it like this. Okay. This is the closing of return. This is closing of this. Okay, one. Okay. So in the scope dot name, I will assign some value to the name, and let's see what will the output. So here I'm assigning some value to the name, and I'm printing that in the template. Template is my first argument. By default it is a attribute directive, so you need to just define the demo here. This is my index.html demo. So the output will be like this. I got Tarun Sharma. So now let's see how we can get it from the attribute, this attribute value. We have already seen this. Like if I want to put name equal to Tarun Sharma, then I can get this value from here. What I need to do, I just need to attributes dot name. I will get that value. So this is another way of getting the attribute value from the HTML content inside the directive. You will see the same output. You will get Tarun Sharma. Now, using the isolate scope binding or string binding, isolate string binding, you do not need to write this much syntax. You just need to, this is not a magic, you just need to do isolate scope binding here. For the name attribute, you just put name and like this. So what it's doing, it is just you are defining isolate scope first, and you put some this name attribute. So this name attribute, whatever the value in the HTML, it will try to fetch that. This is trying to fetch the string value, the copy of the string value, and will use that in the directive. So this is the same output. So now you do not need to write any link function to get the attribute value, because you can do that using isolate scope string binding. This is called a string binding. This is a one-way binding. If you just need to get the some string value, attribute value, then you can do it like this. Name is the attribute here, which has a value Tarun Sharma. So you just need to specify that name here, and you will get that value inside a template, or you can use it in any controller functions or anywhere. Even you can pass some dynamic values here. So how you will do that, like input type, you have some text field and you are getting the value from there. ng model equal to my name, and you are putting my name here. So this will try to evaluate the value. Try to evaluate the value of my name here, name equal to my name. Then you can see this text field. Let's see if I'm getting any console error or something. So now I have this text field ng model, and I'm passing the same data to here. Let me share the files. It should work. My name equal to this. It has a binding. Whatever the value you are typing in the text field, I am assigning that value to name value, and in the name I will be getting that here using string binding. Okay, there is some error. Scope should have, what is that? Unexpected token. Let me check this directive. Unexpected token. So it should be like this. Scope value, I don't think it should be like this. Okay. Sometimes syntax. Okay, yeah, I got it. I did put a comma here because this is a JSON format. So you need to put a comma here. This is the closing, then you are starting the template. Unexpected token, you'll get it sometimes, but that shouldn't be a problem. This is the scope and this is my template. You need to clear the cache. Let me roll back the code. I put the comma here and I putting the name bindings, string binding for the name. I'm not sure if we need to, okay, put the equal sign here. Name equal to this. Oh, I think that should be colon. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Sometimes syntax creates some trouble. I was thinking that it's an equal sign, but it's the same JSON format. So now you can see that now you can get the name value using isolate string binding. This is called a string binding. You do not need to write a link function to get this value, and you can easily get this attribute value dynamically from this input text field. This is my binding. I'm passing that in the name attribute, and name attribute I can easily get through this isolate string binding. That's all. Thank you everyone.